When I decided to make a YouTube channel, I watched a lot of YouTube advice. And one of the things that stuck out to me was when you start a YouTube channel, you should launch with 5 videos. So that's what I did. When I launched this channel, Building Chinese Irish, I launched with 5 videos. The channel trailer did okay, but the rest of the videos flopped. So I kind of got lost in all this YouTube advice of how to do it properly and feeling like I wasn't doing it properly and I need to figure it out before moving forward. And then eventually something clicked in my head. I was like, Grace, your channel trailer says that you're trying to make a living online without being an influencer. But this is exactly trying to be an influencer, figuring out thumbnails and titles and all this stuff. You said you were going to be a builder. What did you build? Why aren't you building? I was like, oh yeah, okay. Basically, my head needs to shut up for a little bit and just like focus on building and like delivering value. And I was just like, okay, what am I going to build for people? I made this like long list. Here's the list of where this channel is going to go in the future, the kind of problems that are going to be solved. So first of all, like I had this enclosure video, which is about having storage space on your computer for cheap. It was like 270, what I wanted to buy in the shop. And then the actual solution was like €7. If I could save one person 200 quid or like 100 quid, it's worth it. Next, it's podcast system. Basically, a friend of mine told me that they were getting screwed on a subscription with their podcast app because they have a podcast and they were uploading and things weren't working and they're still paying 20 a month. And then I looked into it and I was like, I can totally like build a replacement for this. They are like screwing you because you don't know how it works. But when you look into how it works, it's not complicated at all. So I figured out how to make a $1 a month system instead of like a €20 a month subscription fee. Also like, oh, if you upload a little bit extra, you have to pay extra fees for that. It's like, ugh, shut up. You know, this kind of stuff really annoys me. The next thing I want to do, I have this Netflix replacement app on my home server and my TV, which is free. I'm like taking DVDs and putting them on my home Netflix. So then I can watch it on my TV. It just lives in my house at the moment. I want to share it with my family. So I need to like connect that to the internet so people back in Ireland can like connect to my home Netflix replacement and then like watch my movies and stuff. If I have a movie and I want them to see it too so we can talk about it, this is like an easy way to do that. Instead of just like, oh, that sounds cool. What service is that on? No, I don't have that. I don't have Disney. I don't have whatever. So yeah. Sharing my home kind of Netflix alternative. That'll be pretty cool. Next, it was Easter the other day. I was having dinner with my partner's parents who don't speak English. My German sucks. I had some things that I wanted to say, but I couldn't figure out how to say them properly, or I was saying things with the wrong grammar. After the fact, I would just think about this in my head, just like, oh, I should have said this, I should have said that the right way. And I wanted a system where I could just write down these sentences in English. And then the system would automatically take those sentences and give me an MP3. And the MP3, the audio file, would have the English sentence with a pause and then the German sentence with a pause. And then like on to the next sentence, on to the next sentence. So I can just create these MP3s of like sentences that I want to learn how to say in German. And when I'm walking my dog, I can just listen to them. And I'm learning exactly what I want to say in a kind of like passive way during time that I'm just walking my dog. I don't really know of an app that does this conveniently, and I imagine it would cost quite some money. This can be done easily for free. Once I build this, I can just like put it online and anybody can just copy and paste it and have that for themselves. So I think there's a lot of value in that. When I was a kid, I just assumed if they're showing us stuff like the Jetsons and how great the future is going to be, I wanted something like that future. What the Jetsons never showed was everything in their house that was technological having a subscription and then it breaking when the company goes out of business or the price going up. The Jetsons freaking out about like all the bills they have to pay from all their subscriptions while they're renting their home instead of owning their home. Side rant. So that's kind of like why I feel like building these things and sharing these things is like important, because I just don't like a lot of how life is going these days. And I feel like this is a little thing that I can do to kind of like push it back in the right direction. So yeah, I think I'll leave it at 4. I'll leave the rest of the mystery of what's going to happen next. If you're interested in seeing any of those things, hit subscribe. All of this stuff is going to be made with open source software as much as possible. So it's going to be mostly free or as cheap as possible that I can make it, because I don't like paying subscriptions also. So that's part of what this channel mission is about as well, just like highlighting what can be done for free. So you guys, let me know in the comments below if there's any specific kind of apps or subscriptions that you guys are using that you use, but you wish that you could just not. Like if you feel like you're getting a good service from a subscription, then there's nothing wrong with that. You're trading money for a good service. But I feel like most of the subscriptions these days, it's not really like that. It's like they're trying to lock you into an ecosystem and extract as much value out of you as possible. And I hate that feeling and I want to get rid of that as much in my life. I also think that building your own things, being in control of your own stuff, for me anyway, there's a certain kind of emotional value to that. For example, the hard drive enclosure, I'm saving maybe 100 quid once off, but I have emotional satisfaction knowing that I found a solution to some problem where I wouldn't be happy consenting to what the tech shops say or what the inflation markets say. I don't know if that makes sense. Thank you all for listening if you made it to the end, and hope you have a lovely day.